So before starting this review, I must tell you my story with Pokémon. I'm a huge Pokémon fan, or at least I was when I was younger. Well, I guess half of the world was a Pokémon fan when they were younger, so I don't know if this is something I should be proud of, but anyway. Back in 2007 or 2006, my older cousins introduced me to the Pokémon games. Of course, we already watched Pokémon on TV and everything, but around the time, I started to collect the cards from the Pokémon trading card game. But playing a Pokémon game, it was a totally different experience to me. I could finally catch Pokémon, I could finally be a Pokémon trainer, and, well, I was 9 years old at that time, and that was a really big deal. So I started playing Pokémon Yellow, which was, if I'm not wrong, my first Pokémon game. And to me, that game was amazing. I would be stuck in that first cave for like a whole afternoon, sometimes having to ask my cousins to help me get out of that place. And the addiction to catch all the Pokémon? It was amazing. Getting to Lavender Town as a kid was so mysterious and creepy. I felt like a real Pokémon trainer. So, I have played Pokémon Yellow, Pokémon Red and Blue, and then Pokémon Gold and Silver, and that's it. After that, I stopped playing Pokémon, and I don't really know why. I don't remember why exactly. I had a Nintendo DS, but my parents only gave me Pokémon Heart Gold and one of that Pokémon Mystery Dungeon game. So keep that in mind. I don't know how the recent games before Sword and Shield actually are. But well, after years and years, I finally bought a Nintendo Switch with my own money. And well, I wanted to play a Pokémon game again, but I wanted something new. I didn't want to play Pokémon Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eve and play the same Pokémon Yellow again. And that's why I decided to buy Pokémon Sword. I wanted something new. So here we go, my final thoughts on Pokémon Sword and Shield. Starting with the story, what can I say about it? Well, this is one of the lowest points of Pokémon Sword and Shield in my opinion. Well, it's not that the story is that bad. It's simple, it's a story for children, and it's not that bad actually, it's just that I don't play a Pokémon game for its story. And this is me! I know a lot of people will have a different opinion about it. But I grew up with the first generations of Pokémon games, and maybe this is why I simply don't enjoy playing a Pokémon game for its story. What I wanted to do while playing Pokémon was catching Pokémon, winning battles and fighting gym leaders. This is what I wanted to do, and when something new and the story appeared, I wasn't really interested, you know. I just wanted the cutscenes to end and to continue catching more Pokémon and playing more battles. This is what I wanted. But I have heard lots of people actually saying that they enjoyed this story. Maybe it just wasn't for me. I actually enjoyed the mystery around the two legendary Pokémon, the Sword and Shield, but that's it. I think it was simple, but it fulfilled its duty. It was nothing big, it was a story made for children. Keep that in mind. But in my opinion, it's one of the lowest points of the game. So the characters in the game are, well, they are okay. They do their job. I like Sonia, Professor Magnolia, Bede and Morny, but I think that the worst characters are the one that you encounter the most. Hop, your rival, which is so innocent and simple that it becomes annoying. And Leon and Rose, I don't have much to say about them because I think that the character development is not a strong aspect of the game. But it's fine, it's a Pokémon game and I wouldn't expect them to be great. But they do their job. The best characters in the game are the Pokémon. Playing with them in the camp is better than talking to any of the other NPCs. So the gameplay is one of the highest points of every Pokémon game. It's not very different from what I have already experienced in the previous games. It's great, it has the classic Pokémon battles that I wanted to experience again, and a lot of Pokémon to catch and try to complete my Pokédex. Of course, this game created a big controversy around not having all the Pokémon from the previous games, something called the Dexit. This is something I didn't appreciate, But it was not a big deal to me because I usually play a new Pokemon game to catch new Pokemon. And in the first generations of games, there were not so many Pokemon for you to catch, so it didn't bother me that much not to have all the Pokemon available in the new Pokédex. But I understand all the people that disapproved this measure. I enjoyed the new types of Pokeballs, and I really appreciated new features like being able to customize your character, buying clothes, customizing your league card, and collecting league cards of other NPCs and players, sending Pokemon to Pokemon jobs, setting the camp and cooking curry, collecting ingredients to cook. They are little details that make a difference in the game and make it more enjoyable. And now about the Wild Zone. I liked it, and I know it's something that everyone loved, and some people say that it's the best thing about this new Pokemon game. The raids, being able to explore the zone and catch all the Pokemon, and okay, I agree, it's great, but I still think it's not the best part of the game. It's like a Safari Zone of the old games, but I think that in the older games, when you got to the Safari Zone, it was a really special moment. It was a big event. And in this game, it's something great, the Wild Zone, but it's not that special, because you can go there since the beginning of the game, and I think that it feels kinda empty sometimes. But I think it's a nice addition to the next games, and I hope they will improve this aspect even more in the future. Maybe it's because I enjoyed the older games a lot, and I like the linear progression of Pokemon. I know most people hate the game being so linear, but I enjoy it. I like this. I find it relaxing somehow. So now let's talk about art, graphics, and design. What makes Pokemon so addicting and enjoyable is catching the Pokemon. And this wouldn't be so fun if the Pokemon design were not so interesting. The new Pokemon design has changed along all these years, but I think it's still good. Of course, there are some crazy Pokemon that everyone looks at it and think, who the hell created this? But overall, the design of the Pokemon keeps consistent. I prefer the older Pokemon, and maybe it's because I grew up with them, but okay, there are some new Pokemon that I like. The graphics are okay, they are not bad, but they could be better. There are some textures that are in a bad quality, but you won't notice it in the handheld mode. And I personally didn't think that the design of the wild area was very interesting. I found it kinda simple and empty, but okay. I wish there could be more cities like Ballonlea, for example. Another thing that I must say is that every child that played older Pokemon games always dreamed about a main Pokemon game in 3D. When we got Pokemon Let's Go Eve and Let's Go Pikachu, and now Pokemon Sword and Shield, it was amazing to see our character and the Pokemon in a new dimension. I'm a nostalgic person, and I must admit that I missed the 2D graphics, but I know that it's important to move on to new generations and adopt 3D graphics, so I think it's an interesting new approach. But still, I think they could do, maybe in the future, like add an option to play the game in 2D or 3D, like Dragon Quest XI did. The soundtrack is good. They adapted the old Pokemon soundtrack and they transformed it, which I think was well suited to the game. It doesn't have any new super memorable track like Pokemon Red with the Lavender Town track, but it's still good and enjoyable. The addiction of catching new Pokemon was there again, but I must admit that it took a while for me to get really addicted to the game. Maybe because I didn't know the new Pokemon, which were different from the time when I played Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Gold, when I knew all the Pokemon that existed at that time. But when I finally got addicted, I really did, and it was great. I felt like a child again. As I said before, I liked Pokemon being a linear game, and Pokemon, to me, it's a game to relax, to play before going to bed. So this reminds me of something else that people usually don't like about the game, that it's the game being too easy. And okay, I also think that sometimes the game could be more difficult, but I don't think it's bad the way it is. Keep in mind that I play this game because I find it relaxing. It's not a challenging game, but it would probably be more fun if it was a little more like that. So overall, Pokémon Sword and Shield is a great game. In my opinion, one of the best games in the Nintendo Switch, especially for people who appreciate JRPGs and for the Pokémon fans. I understand that many people who don't like Pokémon maybe won't like this game so much. It's a linear game, it has a simple story, but still it's addicting. It's relaxing and it certainly will bring fun moments to everyone who likes Pokémon. So to me, Pokémon Sword and Shield deserves an 8 out of 10.